We're going to talk about the top 10 mathematicians that people talk about today. Of course, it's somewhat subjective. I say somewhat because some of these people have done work that would give them the Fields Medal. Math is a very global field. At the end of this video, I'll talk to you about one of the top 10 people that I hope to do work for someday, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know if I'll get the opportunity, but I really do want to understand their work more. So, people from all around the world do math in different ways and in terms of understanding how to make sense of their societies, whether it's finance or trying to understand different aspects of astronomy and this, that, and the other. Math can help us explain that. So let's look at the top 10 mathematicians. My name is Amos, the Math Guy. I'm the author of Tools for Mastering Mathematics, as well as a pre-algebra curriculum, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and so on and so forth. We have curriculum for elementary school students that we use in connection to Singapore math, all the way to calculus and beyond. I love to help people get math credits before they go to college, so you can get up to 21 math credits with me if you want, or up to 60 credits in total of different courses, as I can be your coach along the way with my partnership with the university. So in this video, let's talk about the top 10, starting with number 10. Well, actually, this is not in any particular order. Let me correct that. I will start from number 10 and I'll work to number 1 and talk about my work there. So John Stilwell, number 10. And then number 9, we have Martin Heyer. And then we have Ingrid Daubechies, and then Peter Sarnak, and then Bruce Berndt, and Timothy Gowers, Ian Stewart, and Keith Devlin. So these are some of the famous mathematicians that you might know. Here's the pattern that is interesting. They either did work at MIT, Princeton, some of them did work in France. Well, actually, one of the people on the list did work in France, Cambridge, Scotland, different parts of the world, but for the most part, MIT, Princeton, Cambridge. You notice a pattern, MIT, Princeton, Cambridge. So I would love to help people who want to go to those schools to study STEM fields. Reach out to amosthemathguy@gmail.com. I love the rigor that MIT, Princeton, Cambridge have, and many other universities, but it's fun to study at those places. Now, one of my favorites is Cambridge, and I'll be there from August 1st to the 17th. If you want to join my tour, well, I'll be talking about science and the scientific revolution right out of Trinity College area in Cambridge, because Isaac Newton is one of the key people that gave us what we have today. So I'll be doing a series on science and the scientific revolution, which is tied to my innovations course. The goal of teaching the history and philosophy of science is to help people to be inspired and to give their best in learning the different subjects that they're learning. I have a different video that talks about science and the scientific revolution, and you can feel free to reach out if you want to watch that or join the course that we talk about, science history. Okay, now number 2 and number 1. Number 2 is Andrew Wiles, and number 1 is Terence Tao on my list. Terence Tao today is regarded as one of the best mathematicians. He has a master class on YouTube, and this summer we're going to actually go over some of that. So let's talk about Terence Tao, and then I'll end with Dr. Andrew Wiles. So Terence Tao is at the University of California, Los Angeles. He is one of the only people on the list that I know of who is more of a prodigy. At the age of 3, he was already doing some arithmetic. At the age of 8, he almost scored a perfect score on the SAT. At the age of 8, he got his PhD, he was a full professor, and he won the Fields Medal. Pretty much all before 30, right? He was teaching at UCLA. Terence Tao's area of specialization, the Green-Tao theorem, the Erdos discrepancy problem, the compressed sensing, Tao's inequality, and analysis oscillatory integrals. Tao is arguably the greatest living mathematician and has been called the greatest mathematician of his generation. Born in South Australia, Tao was a child prodigy, the youngest person ever to win a medal in the International Math Olympiad. He was 10. He has since won the Fields Medal, the Nobel Prize for Math, they would call it. Terence Tao holds the James and Carol Collins Chair in Mathematics at UCLA. At the age of 14, he attended the Research Science Institute, a summer seminar for talented high school students hosted by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. At the age of 16, he received his bachelor's and master's degrees in mathematics at Princeton University. He received his PhD from Princeton at the age of 20. He joined UCLA at the age of 24 and became the youngest person ever to be appointed to full professor by the university. Tao's focus is on partial differential equations, a non-linear area of calculus, or the mathematics of change. Those who know him are quick to point out that he has an impressive grasp of seemingly all of mathematics, which is a rare feat, particularly today in an age of specialization. He has also done important work in fields as diverse as probability theory to number theory. As fellow mathematician Timothy Gowers put it, when reviewing one of Tao's books, it is not easy to find gaps in Tao's knowledge, and if you do, then you may well find that the gaps have been filled a year later. Tao has won numerous awards, including but not limited to the Fields Medal, and then in 2006, a MacArthur Award, the Junius Award, Fellow of the Royal Society in 2007, and in 2009 he was inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Impressive work there, and I hope someday I meet Dr. Tao. He does work with prime numbers, which I love. Prime numbers are cool, thanks to the work of Euclid. They're amazing. Euclid did his work about 300 BC. And now my number one mathematician that I want to try and focus on is Dr. Andrew Wiles, who is now based at Oxford University. By the way, quick comment on Cambridge. Cambridge also has this lab called the Cavendish Laboratory. The Cavendish Laboratory was set up, is a physics lab set up by James Clerk Maxwell. James Clerk Maxwell is like my hero. I have a shirt here that has the names of some of my favorite mathematicians and scientists, and James Clerk Maxwell and Michael Faraday are right up there on that list. Now, why do I bring up Dr. Andrew Wiles? Because he solved Fermat's last theorem. Let's talk about Andrew Wiles for a second. He solved Fermat's last theorem. And what is Fermat's last theorem? Basically, think of the Pythagoras theorem, but now it's not a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared we're talking about. We're saying any powers greater than the squared, so a cubed plus b cubed is equal to c cubed, is impossible. There are no two numbers that when you add them together equal a number that is raised to that power. That doesn't exist, not just for cubes, but for anything else other than squares, right? Nothing above a square would work for this. That's called Fermat's last theorem, named after the French mathematician Pierre de Fermat. And so Andrew Wiles solved the theorem. We're going to do a whole video about him later on, but I just wanted to talk briefly about him, and then we'll wrap up for today. Please subscribe for more videos like this. His area of specialization is going to be the part of this conjecture here. He came up with it. He came up with some fields of math or some aspects of math in order to solve Fermat's last theorem. And the beauty of math is as you are trying to solve a problem and you come up with certain solutions, those solutions can be used for other problems. That's cool. So the area of specialization is the Taniyama-Shimamura conjecture for size-table elliptical curves. Fermat's last theorem is the other thing, as I said. So Wiles is Royal Society Research Professor at the University of Oxford. He became an overnight sensation when he proved one of the most famous conjectures in all of mathematics, known as Fermat's last theorem. He received his bachelor's degree in math from Oxford and his PhD in math from the University of Cambridge. He spent a year at Princeton's University Institute for Advanced Study and then became professor of math at Princeton. He has taught back and forth between Princeton and Oxford for much of his stellar career. Here's the thing about Princeton. That's where Albert Einstein was at the end of his life. This Institute of Advanced Research, Institute for Advanced Study. Wiles became interested in Fermat's last theorem as a child at the age of 10. He recalls, and his later professional career became a quest to find the proof of the famous centuries-old problem, right, conjecture in number theory. When he proved it true in 1993, not just the world of math, but the entire world and the media reported the accomplishment. Technically, it wasn't completely proved until 1994. Wiles thus enjoys status among mathematicians as having solved a problem many thought true, but essentially unprovable before him. Not surprisingly, Wiles has received many honors and awards for his career in math, including the Fermat Prize, which is no surprise, it says here, the Wolf Prize, and a Copley Medal. He was awarded a MacArthur Fellowship in 1997. Those are some of the mathematicians. Notice a pattern: Princeton, MIT, Cambridge, Oxford, right? Even if you don't go to any of these schools though, you can still enjoy math because math is universal. And stay tuned, some Nigerian mathematicians are cooking, so stay tuned for them. Subscribe for more and have a blessed day.